Good morning, it's Ash. Well, maybe it's not the morning for you, it's the morning for me. It's been a really long time since I've done one of these little voice notes to you, or maybe it has seemed like it hasn't, but I've been editing my book, so I think I pre-recorded a ton of notes to you, and now I'm finally getting current. And I had a really profound experience this weekend that I just couldn't keep in me anymore. I was like, wow, I need to do a little solo cast on this. And it's about intention and yourself and really asking yourself where you're coming from when you make choices. So I was at a seminar this weekend with a friend, and she invited somebody that she had met through Instagram who had a big platform, who was a coach, spiritual teacher sort of thing, to lunch with us. And so I was really excited because we have a group of probably 10 or 15 women. Like if you've seen me do Sisters Support Sisters on Instagram, or you've seen that handle, Sisters Support Sisters, me and all my friends, it's like some of the best girls I know. And I forget sometimes that our world really becomes what we surround ourselves with and not what the world actually is, and that's why I've always craved traveling and learning other cultures. And I think that's why I worked in national security, was some part of me always wanted to know what the rest of the world was like. And I had this curiosity. And so going out to lunch with a new friend or somebody that she'd met through podcasting or Instagramming felt kind of fun. I was like, oh my gosh, we've been so in our girl bubble. Like I would love to meet somebody amazing and new. And we sat down, and the way she was communicating about her business, about what she teaches, calling herself a spiritual teacher, I noticed myself have like judgment bubbling up. And it was really tough for me because the seminar we were in was about not judging. And I thought, oh my God, I'm sitting in a not judging seminar, a non-judgment seminar, and I'm judging a person I'm sitting with over lunch, which is just human. Sometimes you're in your soul, other times you're in your human, and I was in my human at that lunch table. And she was going on. She was like, well, I got this new house and I always have the biggest house. So that's why everybody wants to party with me, because they always can come to my house because I always buy the biggest house. And I'm so sad to be leaving Malibu, but I'm going to miss the beach, but not really. And even if I do, I'll just buy myself a furnished condo to go every few weeks or something if I need a night there. So it was very self-focused, self-impressed. And when I asked her about her business, she just talked about how much money she was making. And I, in that moment, realized for the first time what so many of you must go through with the coaching space, with learning from people, whether it's me on this podcast or somebody else, and what it must feel like when I sell something or when I promote something, because you've probably been hit by all sorts of different people on the internet who are selling you things, and it must feel like PTSD almost, like you've been hit up before. But what it really got me thinking about, and this is the point of this audio to you, I feel like I'm 90 calling a solo cast an audio. I need to get out of that. Still waking up, haven't had my coffee, but I'm having all of these thoughts. I think more than ever after I walked away from her, I thought, okay, she was really nice to me. She wasn't rude to me at all. She was very focused on herself, and, she probably has good content. She's probably teaching people something or other. But I imagined, and I don't know if this is true, this is just my thought on it, my judgment on it. It made me think about all of the times I bought something out of smallness versus out of inspiration, and my relationship with money and belief in myself. So bear with me on this. It made me think a lot about how when I sell things as a coach or a business owner, I don't really even feel like a coach. I feel more like a business owner, writer. Whenever I'm selling things, how important it is to be in integrity, and not just in integrity with myself, but calling my customer forward for inspiration, out of what's possible for them. And when I was thinking about how she was marketing herself, it was very much the brand of "Don't you wish you were me?" And I just was looking at her comments on social media, looking at all these people in their smallness saying, I wish I had that, I wish I had that, and buying from her. And it made me think a lot about how when we buy something, we really have one out of two choices, because there's no such thing as neutral. You're either expanding or contracting at any given moment with what your choices are. So you can either choose to buy something out of your smallness. You can choose to buy something because you think you're lacking, because you think you need that thing, because without that thing, you're not whole, you're not enough. Or you can choose to buy something out of inspiration. You can choose to buy something because you feel whole, but you also feel inspired. You also feel a yearning for more. You also feel like maybe the person who's selling to you inspires you and calls you forward in a way that is expansive and not playing on your smallness. And it just reminded me more than ever whenever I do sell something, because I don't really sell that much stuff other than my courses or my coaching. I'm not really, and I've been doing a lot of, I've been getting hired for more speaking lately. So I've been really slow on the selling portion of my business. And it just really reminded me, number one, how inspired I am by the women who surround me, the friends that I have. I'm so insulated by that group. And sometimes I guess it's rightfully so. They're so inspiring. Their hearts are in the right place. They're leaders. So if you want to learn from anyone, that I think their heart is just really solid and good, although all hearts are really good when you look at it. I think my friends have done the work on themselves to be offering something in the marketplace and offering advice and content that comes from the soul. And I'm so moved by them the more that I think about this lunch that I had. And it's not to put this girl down and think like she's not a good girl, because she really was kind to me. And I bet you she has good content. But the energy she spoke from really reminded me of how important it is to check in with myself when I'm buying things. Like, am I buying something because somebody feels bigger than me and they feel like they remind me how small I am, or I remind myself how small I am around them? Or am I buying from them because I'm simply inspired? And I'm inspired by who they are, who I am, when I'm around them or when I'm learning from them. So I just want to ask you that question. And it doesn't just have to be about people. It can be about you and purchasing things. Like, who are you at the mall when you're buying something? Are you buying something because you're trying to fix yourself? You're trying to be better? Are you buying something because you're in a neutral place? Some of you have a very neutral relationship with money. I think most people don't. And so this is the question I want to offer you today. Are you paying for that manicure because it feels inspiring and expansive? Are you paying for it because you don't think that guy you're going to go on a date with is going to respect you or like you if you're not perfectly polished and put together? These are the kinds of things to start to think about, is what drives your buying decisions and what energy you're in when you make them. All right, sending you lots of love. I'm noticing a part of myself self-conscious, like, I hope I don't sound like an asshole talking about this experience I had, but it was just it really sat with me. All right, sending you a lot of love, and excited to hear what you think of this podcast.